silly than the last flute music, but it's been another huge week in cannabis legalization news, and we're here to break it all down for you. My name's Tom. You can find me over at cannabisindustrylawyer.com. And there was a lot that happened, including our biggest story of the whole week. One of the biggest stories of the year, THCa, that loophole will continue for another year. So if you like Delta 8, if you like THCa, or any of the other lesser cannabinoids that can get you high that you derive from hemp and its 2018 Farm Bill definition, they're still in play. Miggy and I are going to break it all down. We have a large lineup of stories from all over the place. There's some stuff that I didn't even see coming. And why don't we get into cannabis legalization news for this week?
Yo,
Miggy, why don't you tell us about this flute music that you found for us?
that inspirational Andre 3000.
Is this actually the Andre 3000 album?
No, because we would get flagged. This is AI.
We would. Yeah. Evidently, that may be worth something. I'm not sure. I've heard that Andre 3000 did a flute album, and so he's been inspired by cannabis legalization news' silly flute music. Yeah.
Yeah, man, there's a lot to talk about, though, right? Like a lot of stuff happened.
A lot of stuff. And so buckle up, tune in, subscribe. And then we have some more videos that'll be coming out over the course of the next few weeks about what Schedule 3 cannabis means. And not only that, we did a big deep dive into Ohio. I'm going to be turning that down a little bit. And then this was the big one.
Yeah.
That happened. And so like instead of the government getting shut down, we got the 2018 Farm Bill extended for a whole year.
Same old same, right? Like that's the status quo so far now. This is where we're at. Whatever you were doing yesterday, you can still do tomorrow.
Correct. And so I will be not like really worried about buying seeds for another year. I will also be able to buy all those delightful beverages out of Minnesota for another year. And if I really wanted to, I could go buy cookies, weed online and call it hemp.
So, and then also, aren't some people selling clones online too?
Well, clones, that was like the only loophole they didn't shut down, like with the CANRA proposed definition, because it was still going to be fine then, because there was 0 THC in a clone.
Right.
And so I didn't see them shutting down the clone loophole, and I thought that was going to be the only loophole remaining. The seeds, there's so many things that can go wrong. And then not only that, it's safe access for patients for the seeds. But for THCa flower, get a regular cannabis license.
But I mean, it's limited states. I mean, not everybody like Kentucky, looking at you, can do this.
Well,
right?
That's true. Nice. Well, yeah, but then like there should only be one set of rules, and then they're just they're living on a loophole. And then all those states, why was Ohio's news so big? And then why does Mike DeWine want to walk it back if the only thing they had to do was be like, wait, they're just selling the stuff anyway and calling it hemp? Yes.
Well, again, the politicians have been using this topic as it's like, oh, get them to the polls. But then once they get to the polls and make a decision, they're like, no, you were wrong. You didn't know what you wanted. But save the babies.
You were confused. Oh, that should have been in our news. There was a hearing in Florida that was really good. Really? I just didn't see any that's the problem. Like it was a hearing in Florida and it was about weed in that case, because they're going to have that on the ballot next year. And that's going to get on the ballot next year because the Florida Supreme Court was very, very suspicious of their attorney general's arguments, just kind of like mocking them in the questions. I should have flagged that and put it on the channel. And you just share like really sad stories on our channel. Like, what is it with you sharing the sad stories?
That's the whole thing about this cannabis conversation. None of it's freaking awesome, right? Because people's children's lives are able to be ruined or disrupted, and I'm happy for you to able actually to find success in the what is the industry at the moment. But it's not right still. We're far.
It's not. But then it's one of those things where I like to keep it light, like on that Netflix video, Don't Look Up. Hey, if you have not joined us yet over on Facebook, you still can. Yeah. It's facebook.com/free THC. There's 477,000 followers. We're going to try to sell some THCa and some CBD or some just THC gummies over the course of the next year on this page with about 500,000 people on it, simply because that's legal.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's ways to do business if you want to touch this plant and be involved, but yeah, this is a page I've been working on now. I apologize for the spam bots because they're out there, right? They troll these cannabis pages for years, and we don't have any recourse. We're shadow banned. We're not a real product. We're not a real cause. We're not real, people apparently.
I don't know.
So,
And everybody goes and traps on Telegram now.
well, and then there's always going to be ways to do, backdoor deals and get around shit. But why
No,
we're
there's
talking
not.
about?
Like, when was the last time you bought alcohol legally?
Oh, you mean illegally?
Yeah, illegally. When was the last time you bought
Never.
alcohol illegally?
Well, when I was like 18, giving money to like older kids.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I know what your point is, and that's the thing about cannabis. Eventually, once the ecosystem regulations catch up, because we're going to be talking more about like parity and things that so passe. But hey, what up, Cole?
No, the federal law is not ahead of state law on this. Like that, they're just out to lunch. They have no idea what they did. And then how come we're going to have to pay taxes at our dispensary? If I go down to Wake and Bakery over in Chicago, they don't pay no fucking taxes. They don't have to put up the security systems. They don't have to do the seed to sale tracking. They don't have to have the same purity. They don't have to have the same consistency. And so, like, let's have one set of rules for psychoactive cannabis. One set of rules for psychoactive cannabis, not a huge loophole. Yeah, the Wake and Bakery. The Wake and Bakery, it's right up the street from Uno's. And so, like, go downtown Chicago and you'll find the Wake and Bakery. You can get like a smoothie with Delta 9 in it. You can buy THCa pre-rolls, all that stuff. They don't card you when you get in there. Like, you didn't have to have an order. They aren't paying the taxes that goes to the Social Equity Reinvestment Fund.
Yeah.
One set of rules, not two.
Yeah, I feel that. And then you talk about for cannabis and hemp, right? Like that's the one set you're looking
It's
for.
the same plant.
Exactly.
It's the same plant. And so like if you're going to grow hemp to make a wall because you're going to use it for building materials. Okay, cool. That's what they intended. They intended industrial hemp. They didn't intend psychoactive hemp. It just happened.
As long as it stays the way it is, though, you stay in business right now.
Until we get our store going. None of my clients are hemp.
No, but I'm talking about the THC side of things, right? As long as there's 50 little fiefdoms going on, you got 50 sets of rules, and it'd be nice to have the interstate thing. The taxes be leveled out. Like here in Washington State, I can't imagine what other product has at least 25% just on the person producing it. Right, like the tobacco fields don't.
Alcohol is heavily taxed. Tobacco is heavily taxed as well. But then it's. I think we should tax gambling higher than we probably do as well. But it's yeah, and so like it's a whole nother year of, and that's why fuck it, let's sell some product. It is.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things, one plant, one set of rules, state and federal legalization. And so why are we going to, you get to avoid 280E. That's right. And so, no, we're going to be selling some of Cheech and Chong's gummies later. Hopefully. Sure. I didn't check that aspect of the notes to see if the link was in there. And so like, then we also need to get, if you're growing and selling THCA flower and want to do it on our show, give us a call.
Yeah.
We'll let you.
Yeah. The thing about my activism and so it's always been like, no matter how much of the plant, right? Whether it be like you get busted for a joint or you got busted for being part of a ring, a drug ring, right? Whatever, like, growers involved and, trucks, but it doesn't matter because it's not a crime. That's the problem. We view this disparity, because it has THC in it. And it's the law that makes it a crime, right? Like later on, we'll be talking about Snoop Dogg, right? And the thing about I always say there's nothing gangster about cannabis except for the law, because once prohibition evolves and then you enable cartels and shaky deals and you enable crime to happen, right? Like,
yeah, but nobody's going to pay me like six figures to do a joint venture for them to get them a head shop. Like so everybody calls to get an Ohio dispensary and they want to get an Ohio dispensary. Okay. that costs X. Same with New Jersey. It costs X. I mean, if you're going to build a dispensary and it's going to get a certificate of operation from the state, it is going to be like 1.5 to 2 million bucks.
That's okay.
But then we don't need to do that. We can just go buy like 1,000 pounds of THCA flower and just start selling it right now on our show.
Well, I see what you're thinking, but that's more like, I mean, the structure of business, right? We're still like the middleman, right? It wouldn't be if the law was like legal.
Casinos.
Overall.
It's like you're the casino that has the license, right? And there's a guy down the block doing a dice game. And because he's doing a dice game, and dice is defined a particular way under the Agricultural Marketing Act of 1946, you can't like stop him. That's what's happening. And so it is just an exploitation of congressional idiocy. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
But it's also judicial, prosecutorial, preference, right? Like I was telling you about those guys that I know that are still selling, like on Instagram, they're selling quarter pounds on, like they're milling it, right? And they're clearly killing it because, or making a profit because they're still doing it. But the thing is, I've been learning
no records either.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I've been learning about the business side of things, and as we get in our adventure, and what I want to do next, where I want to reinvest, and how everybody wants an exit strategy, right? Before they give you money, they're like, "How do you want to get out of this?" Right? So the thing is that trapper, that person that's created a brand, will never have an exit strategy because there will nothing legal about that. You know what I mean?
Well, the trapper might not have an exit strategy because they're just doing it to survive.
Yeah, I mean, it's another option.
It's one of those deals where the state won't license you if they think you're a diversion risk, and then there's this huge diversion risk that's federally legal.
What? Yeah, and that's it. And again, diversion. You're talking about like. Even in like opioids, or when I used to be a traveling technician, I self-serviced the place that makes liquid cocaine out of Cody, Wyoming.
Ooh, and liquid cocaine. Hey, everybody, if you tuned in for the liquid cocaine part of the show, you've reached it. Don't forget to smash that like button and also subscribe.
But those manufacturers with the DEA and even with all the regulations, there's an anticipated amount of diversion that they see leaving. Like, I'm like, how do you expect like a crate of fucking liquid cocaine to go disappearing, or any opioid type manufactured Oxycontin? It's acceptable. How it's not, it can't be.
Yeah, well, organized crime is a thing. Speaking of Congress, and Congress, it was a madcap week of cannabis legalization news, most of it coming out of the feds, very little of it coming out of the states because most of the states are no longer in session. The only news that we really had coming out of the states was a quote from the governor of Ohio, where if he really gave two shits, the governor of Ohio would just be like, "No, it's fine. Evidently THCA is hemp, so I don't understand why anybody's going to get this or why that vote even mattered. Like if it's already legal in your state because of THCA hemp."
Yeah. What? And again, why is he even addressing, like, the voters have already made the will, but here we go, the GOP, good times, didn't see this one coming.
Oh, we should have put that under the ironic, didn't expect this from coming, or coming. GOP-controlled House committee blocks bipartisan amendment to protect legal marijuana states from federal interference. Yes, it's called the Unpopular Act of 2023. A powerful GOP House-controlled committee has blocked another series of marijuana and psychedelic reform amendments to large-scale spending legislation, including a bipartisan proposal to protect all state cannabis programs from federal interference. That is what we really are going after, and still, like, Can the industry now just start claiming the THCA loophole? Is that what we need to do as the industry? Just be like, hey, fuck off. This is legal hemp. It is. And it's, test it. Here's our COA that says it's 0.2% Delta 9. I go to some of the stuff that I pack weed into after I get done with it from the dispensary. It is, for all intents and purposes, hemp. And if you watch a video that we did on this channel, you can go to our channel and Google or search it. I did a video on THC hemp 4 fucking years ago where I'm like, look, this jet fuel that I bought from Verano technically qualifies as hemp. And I feel like stupid that I didn't make $1 million on it yet. I wanted to get a regular license and not be exploiting the law and be a diversion risk.
I mean, yeah, you can get involved in hemp now if you have the create the supply chain and whatnot. But even I think, do you think the law, like the way we're doing this right now, can really limit genetics? If we're going to throw this threshold of
California, man, nobody's limited genetics. California's just killing it. The genetics coming out of California are sick.
But like they're limited to California market, so like only the players. There's still.
The only thing that I think that the farm bill is really limiting the genetics on is that everybody who's in hemp is not worried about the genetics for industrial capacity, and so they're only worried about genetics for Delta 9 compliance. And that's it. And as opposed to like worried about genetics for this will be able to grow the most biomass so we can make this much building material, or this will be able to grow the most oil so that we can like replace petroleum or plastics. That type of research and those types of companies do not exist under the current farm bill.
No, true story. That's sad, dude. That's just sad.
People just want to get high and not pay taxes.
Yeah, well, and also the business wants to just make the money, and that's what people are. Yeah, you're right. Spending their money on, right? Just opposed to like it could be cotton, it could be a fabric, it could be paper. This amazing plant can 10 acres of trees is 1 acre of hemp. So
before you start to get like all mad scientists into the genetics, you could do stuff to those genes, just like they've done stuff on the flower side of the genes, and to make it like even better at its industrial capacities. They should be investing in that, but like
the 100-pound watermelon would be like a 100-pound hemp plant or something.
Yep. But they aren't going to do that until they close that THCa loophole, and that loophole ain't getting closed for at least another year.
Well, and then also with like the way these Republicans keep blocking the progress, just because it's not even like this is good policy. It's just because that Biden, that he did it. It's
right.
Bad.
Blame an 81-year-old man.
Yeah, well, they're both old.
They're both pretty darn old, but I think Nikki Haley's going to be the Republican nominee. She may actually win.
I'd be impressed, but I don't think so. I think they're all controlled by stupid, and it's going to be like this whole. It's like the one with the best Instagram presence, right? It's not even like actual policy and being a grown up or having actual like ideals. It's more like, hey, look at me, I can take a picture at a UFC fight, and people think I'm cool or whatever. But got the EA news.
Oh man,
what's up?
The Bitly. And so like I need to get to the office earlier on Sundays so that I can review the notes. That's the problem. Yep.
So DA is like, go for it.
No, I'm just gonna do this bumper.
Oh, it's that time? Shit.
It's that time. It's 20 past the hour. Well, let's get hawking. That's right. We're going to start hawking Cruise Chews. Hey, it's 20 past the hour. Have you eaten a gummy by Cheech and Chong yet? Tell you what, here is a huge, jank, ugly link that is not the bit.ly that I wanted to be sharing with you. But by the way, it's the only one that we have. So here you go, Mr. And I'm only going to send this to the only one that's watching because we had another issue with some stuff. And there you go. If you want some Cruise Chews, and you should, they're quite good. Maybe we're going to have them mail you some. But guess who is on the THC loophole gummy train? That's right, Cheech and Chong. And they have some really good gummies that you can get for free right there if you just follow that link. And I'll get the bit.ly and put it into the first comment on this. And so it is a 10-to-1 CBD to THC ratio, so you'll feel a safe, smooth ride, according to the legends. Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Right on, dude. When did they hit you up? That's awesome.
Oh, I ignore a lot of. I don't like affiliate marketing because I've never made any money from it.
Right.
But I will consider some affiliate marketing for selling weed. But I would prefer, maybe we should just go buy a pound of weed, like THCA weed, and then just sell it online. And the other thing is, we have all this merch. Like, how do we put these things on the channel? You want to figure that out? You want to be on point on this one?
Well, I think when we get the store, we're gonna start selling our merch to the store, and then we'd have a
No, we're not.
warehouse.
Yeah.
Why not? Come on, dude. We'd have space. Where'd you get that
Okay,
big
that's
thing?
yeah. And then so like I have some other crap, but that's not how that's going to work. And then there's going to be certain branding aspects of it. It's one of those deals where we are allowed to do what our contracts say that we're allowed to do. This isn't the hemp industry.
No, I get that part, but the cruise juice though, I mean, it's cool that Cheech and Chong fan. I just I don't know too much about it. This is the first.
Yep. Bit.ly. And then you go there and click on Bit.ly. You get the link that I wanted in the first place. And then there's that. Okay. Do you have any, you want a fumper? Sometimes that's kind of fun to do.
We want
Fumper? No, I got the fumper. It's where you just make up kind of words and you're slightly charming. Exit and copy. And then here's a
like scat.
No, it's a fumfering. And nope.
Bunny Rabbit's asking who can legally grow hemp, and anybody, right? But
provided that you have a license from the USDA and through your state, and then the state has to sync it up to the USDA. That's one of the interesting things. It stops. The regulation stops after they have picked the plant, and that's why there's no when they did the farm bill's proposed new language from CANRA, they also included something that was beyond the purview of the USDA's regulatory authority because they turned it into some type of extraction, like extracted cannabinoids. That's not really the right place for this new definition. However, the DEA could clean all of this up with a new Schedule 3, which may happen by creating these and then scheduling those new cannabinoids that are out there, which would be interesting. I don't know if that's what's going to happen or if they're actually going to just drop the Delta word, because if they just drop Delta from the definition of hemp, pretty much all of the stuff that I hate goes away.
Well, I mean, couldn't you just encompass the word cannabinoid and just call it that? I mean, why did they have to single out each single one?
It has to do with the federal government is shunted into all these little silos of administrations and different agencies that help us conduct the business that is America. And remember, their budget is $4 to $5 trillion a year, and they're the largest employer in the country.
Right.
And so you have USDA and then you have FDA. And so FDA regulates certain things, maybe after the greens have been picked and then they're in bags of salad, that would be FDA. But then if you just kill a cow because you want to eat steak, and then that would be USDA.
Right.
And they've split them all over the place. And so the FDA has regulatory authority over a lot of stuff, especially up into the cannabis plant. For example, once you're done growing it and it's no longer an agricultural commodity and now you want to extract it and all that shit, now you get into FDA. They don't fund the FDA. They're kind of like the IRS. It's hilarious. The only thing that gets funded, bombs. Department of Defense. It's one out of every, no, it's not one out of, it's 25 cents out of every dollar of taxes we pay goes to the Department of Defense.
But wouldn't it be smoother though, just to we don't break down an orange. We know vitamin C is in orange, but we don't know every freaking component.
But who's the federal regulator that? Okay, again, same. Who is the regulator on orange trees?
I don't know.
Who's the regulator on orange juice?
That'd be the FDA, right? At that point,
probably. And so then let's say you buy that orange juice at a restaurant. Now you also have the local health inspector involved.
Yeah. But again, each cannabinoid, I mean, we're finding out more components of this freaking plant. It's what in the 80s with generic drugs. They didn't break it down to a scientific specific. They broke it down to a generic statement because they realized they couldn't keep up with it. So
Yeah.
I mean, just huh?
I don't. I'm just going to get to the next story. I don't want to. That's not how the regulatory landscape works in the federal government. Yeah, I'm just going to be like,
I get
moving
it.
on.
Regulations versus actually legislation.
And then not just regulations versus legislation, regulations in particular different areas. And so, like,
Regulatory
these
bodies.
guys are going to be in charge of this, and these guys,
Yeah.
Illinois is the same way. If you have a license in and not a CBD, hemp, and THCa loophole license, but like if you have a grow license or a dispensary license, that is two separate regulators. And so if you have already passed your state background check for like one of them,
right,
the other one doesn't know that you've done that. And so they will ask for another background check.
Oh, sure. But that's
stupid.
Right. Well, really? You would? Yeah. Let's say in Illinois, once say we get the store going,
right, and then we
still
haven't
heard from,
and then we get a grow. Let's say we get the store going, and then we get a grow. They don't know that new regulator who's going to be regulating the grow has no idea we're a licensed business that's already passed a background check.
So I have to go through the whole process again just to
yes.
Okay. Which is
that's stupid,
fucking dumb, but yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I get it. It's just again regulatory bodies versus because I mean, I as someone who's been in the manufacturing service industry for about 20 years, I understand a lot of the compliance stuff. It's just, hey, let's just go on next story.
That's one of the reasons where it's just like eventually your brain hurts from like how dumb a lot of stuff is that you have to put up with, and you're like, you know what we should do? Go to the next story. Hey, DEA is likely to okay marijuana rescheduling, but election and lawsuits could get in the way.
All right.
It's out of mjbizdaily.com.
From zealous drug warrior to out-of-touch elder statesman to the regulated market marijuana industry savior is apparent. President Joe Biden's long arc in public life might have more twist ahead. 1 year after setting into motion the most significant transformation. So it's just mostly about the Biden administration, right? Just considering for next year.
Yeah, but there's hang on a second there.
I'm trying to find the
no.
About his,
but like I'm gonna be a little bit of a B. Okay, so this is wrong. What they say right here on this picture, it says DEA response clock, 90, 60, 30 days left. Okay, this is from somebody who doesn't understand how laws work, probably not a lawyer or constitutional lawyer, or like a federal law lawyer, making a judgment call on something that they read once and didn't appreciate the context of. And so if you actually go to section, let's see, this might be it. Is that going to be 811? No, it's just the general one from the DEA here. This one will be, but it's from Cornell Law School. So like, they're going to ask you for money. And then you also have to hope that it's been updated. But this is the scheduling section of law. And so like, hey, don't forget to tune in for cannabis legalization news so that we can tell you certain nuances of the schedulings of cannabis and the laws that it requires. We're going to have a deep dive on this for Schedule 3 coming up in 2 parts soon on the channel. But if you scroll all the way down to... is that the one? Yeah, there you go. So if you scroll all the way down to that, and this is too bad. Maybe if I move us to go over here, they could see it a little bit better. Zoom. Okay, and then scroll right back down. And so with respect to a drug in subsection F, the Secretary of Health and Human Services recommends the Attorney General control the drug in Schedule 2, 3, 4, or 5. And then to give that to the Attorney General, they shall no later than 90 days thereafter issue an interim final rule on the drug. And so then you have this, which is like 90, 60, 30. Here's the thing that they completely fucking missed. It says right here, with respect to a drug referred in subsection F. So you know what you do? You scroll up to fucking subsection F, and but you know what they do? Let's make a picture. Make a picture.
Well, so that's the go for it.
But you scroll up to subsection F, if at any time a new drug application is submitted. And so this would be like if they said, hey, weed, how about that THCa flower, or THCO, or THC, whatever the fuck you made up this month? You actually submit a drug application to the secretary and say this is therapeutic for particular reasons. They could then say, let's reschedule this drug, and then give that to the attorney general. If the attorney general says, oop, this drug has abuse potential, they could then reschedule it. And that's when this 90-day clock begins, and only with respect to that. But you see, all way up here under A, and this is why they call and they want me to be their lawyer. It says how you actually go through and reschedule things. But, not that they fucking care about that.
No, but it's crazy to see there was an actual process. See, it's actually out there for you to identify, like, this is how you schedule drugs. Like, there's legit paragraph, see this section, you got 90 days. In part, one of this, and this could be part of the picture in the article, it says the DEA publishes a proposed rule that opens a window for public comment, possibly 30 to 60 days.
Correct.
Those comments will be considered in somewhere. So every time the district attorney gets a letter or a request,
they directed, like that's different. And so like you as a person can try to like say, please reschedule this. It doesn't need to be there. But when the administration, because the administration, like all those FDAs, Biden's at the top of all of that. And so like if he loses, Trump will be at the top of all of that. And then I'll like wake up screaming and I'll be like, oh my God, that guy only cares about himself. He doesn't even care about the United States. And it's true. It's true. And so like it makes me very nervous.
You know what an animal like chews its foot off to get off of a bear trap?
No, he's just an aggressive narcissist.
No,
so,
I mean, like
he will gaslight people.
Right. But I mean, being an American sometimes it feels like I just want to chew my arm off. It's like, get the fuck out of here. But
it feels like we do not have plans. And so like how are we, what's our 5-year plan? Oh, that sounds communistic. We have elections every 2 years. We would not plan more than 2 years ahead.
Hey,
anything goes wrong in those 2 years, fuck the guy that's in charge.
Bootstraps. But Texas is a big example of that too, with their lack of meeting. And what is it, 2 times they meet a year?
They meet for 7 months every 2 years.
Every 2 years. That's fucking insane. Like that. No, yeah. Anyways, let's talk about Missouri.
Let's do. Hang on a second. I think we got. Oh, is that no? The bumper that we already did was the 420 bumper. We can do a couple more of these. I have to write these. Okay, so that's a lot between bumpers. I think we need to like get more bumpers.
Yeah, we haven't been doing it in a while, man.
Well, I've never made them. Somebody made them for me. If you know how to make bumpers, please let me know. I could use some new bumpers on the show.
Well, they're just MP4 files is all it really is. But I have no artistic.
Oh, good. But like I'm not. Yeah, it's an MP4 file. But remember, I make all my money by just thinking, and then also typing a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I do shorts, but they're also like on the edge of being copyright. So it's like memes. It's all about the memes, baby.
Mm-hmm. All about the memes. Well, let's see what's going on in Missouri. Okay, let's skip the Missouri article. That's 3 weeks old, and so that'll save us on some time. Yeah, we have. Yeah, I should have done this. But okay, look, I said it's 3 weeks old. It's not news.
I know, but it's still old. Kind of news. I mean, it's a process.
No, you go on to the next thing. That's what you do.
In the sense of law, this motherfucker being 6 months old is still going to be in process, right? Like. In the terms of like, it's like the whining that that Trump's doing about like prosecutorial injustice. They could have done this 3 years ago. No, that's just how the fucking system works, and you know this, old man.
Oh yeah,
you know
we won a license 4 months ago. Haven't gotten it. It probably will drag on for another. But then I think I know the reason why. Because they have to come up with a whole new system that didn't exist for somewhere else, and so I think they're doing like promulgation of rules and figuring it out. Because they completely backwards sized it. And so like before, I had to write a 400 fucking page book for an application. I didn't just go with THCa flower and start selling it. I had to write a book for an application so that you could win a license or even get into a lottery to win a license. Right. And then After that, we didn't have to do that. We just had to be super social equity and then win a lottery. And so I think they're trying to figure out, well, when do you give them the book of the application versus when do you get the location? I think they're trying to iron that out, and that just takes some time because it's complex. Nobody's ever done it before, and they have to think about it.
Well, how often does this committee meet?
The IDPFR, it's a regulatory agency in the state of Illinois, so full-time employees. Okay. All full-time employees. They are not elected officials, so there will be no more laws changed in Illinois and most states, and that's one of the reasons why there's not a lot of state news. There's some federal news. We're going to get a lot of federal news until about February, and then we'll get no fucking federal news because they're going to just go to the primaries, and then we'll get some federal news in the summer, and then we'll get no fucking federal news until the elections. But somewhere in there, I think, is Schedule 3.
So in Illinois, though, it's the IFPDR. What does that stand for? Illinois
Department of Financial and Professional Regulation. That is the retail, and then the Department of Agriculture is everything else.
But in Illinois, the cannabis regulatory body is not like a created new body. It's all part of an already existing finance body.
Just like in Missouri, just like in Ohio. And so a lot of them, they create subs of other sections. And so in Ohio, they created a sub of their Department of Commerce and they put it in there. In Missouri, they created a sub of their Department of Health and they put it in there. In Illinois, we have professional and financial regulation, realtors. And so I got a realtor license through there too. And then they have their Department of Agriculture. And so that's where they put the growing it and the processing of it.
Okay. It's good to know. I didn't know this shit.
Yep.
Got some Earl Blumenauer news.
Earl Blumenauer. I need to move. I always say that I'm going to rewrite the notes, and then I just don't do it because it doesn't pay me any money. I mean, if the notes would pay me some fucking money, I would rewrite it,
Let me see how old the story is.
Exactly. October 30th. We also can just
we said that one.
We can skip that one. Blumenauer is leaving. No. We're gonna do name that strain before shit that I'm not expecting, and then I'll just write the show notes next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't have that. I'm trying to go now to queue up the name that strain so I actually know what it is. You can hit the bumper, and then you do it. Because I'm gonna go get a drink.
Okay. All right, this is an old school one. I would say it's a legacy one. This is if you ever played Pot Farm, it's on Pot Farm. Pretty White Crystals. Let's see, what's the hint I can give you? Ain't nobody? Shit. 272 people. Don't left me all by myself. Fuck my life. All right. It is flavors of grape, citrus, and hash. Its parents are Granddaddy Perp and OG Kush. Ooh, that's a good one. It is a indica. Oh, yeah, it is. I like this one. It's very flavorful. SOS. Anybody? Give me your guesses. Oh, shit. You just hit something. I feel like when Tom left, the comments just kind of just ghosted real quick. I feel like I hit a button. Am I on? Is this thing on? I got 200.
You just had my empty shot on the whole time. You didn't do this one?
Dude, I tried fucking with things. I was just more like, hey, there we go. Oh, there we go. That makes me look better. Dude, I don't know, man. The chat looks like it froze on me.
The chat froze on everybody. And so it still says there's 272 people out there. Yeah, I hope there is. But there's been no comments that have come in since 3:23. So it's one of those things where we have a YouTube channel. And so we could see if we've been deleted while live.
Well, not just, I think also because we were late to the show was scheduled for 1 a.m.
It says 339 people are watching. We're just fine. We're just fine. We cannot talk to you anymore, guests. or chatters. Thank you for tuning in, chatters. And if you
I
have
think it got
enjoyed this,
really weird real quick. But what? So yeah, we were scheduled at 1 a.m. By accident, and it kicked us out of the LinkedIn show, stream, broadcast, whatever. But 330 dope. But it says 270. Damn you,
but
Shimmy.
that's incorrect because okay, let me just show you. Let me show you. Oh, unfortunately, God's gift is in the way, as it is
Oh,
from
did anybody
time to
guess it?
time.
Did
Uh,
anybody?
did anybody guess it? I have no
I couldn't
idea. But
see.
it says
I
just
couldn't see.
339 watch it. And so nobody's going to be able to guess it, which really sucks because somebody might have gotten it.
Well, you just
Either
said
way.
it.
Yeah. Well, just because I said it doesn't mean that it was in any type of referential way that somebody might have picked that up. Somebody could have. Our viewers are pretty sharp. But yeah.
I felt like I was streaming on Twitch because no one ever watches me on Twitch.
Oh, I don't have time to stream. I feel bad that I don't record enough for the consultants. Like when you pay somebody to ask you to make YouTubes and you don't give it to them, you're like, oh shit. I should probably get them. But then there's some good ones. Like it's a deep dive in Schedule 3 in 2 parts and a deep dive in Ohio with a different type of A/B test that I will explain to you after it's been launched. And if it works, then I'll say this is how this one was made. No one will care except for the 339 people watching. You people, awesome. Also, God's Gift, a popular indica dominant hybrid cannabis strain, also sometimes called strand, and cultivar with because I don't really harp on people that call it strand because if strain is a made up name and they're mispronouncing that and they think it's a strand like it's your hair or something, who cares?
Yeah, no, and actually I like God's Gift. I remember this from back in the medical days in the markets. Good. I would ask for it because I like my indicas.
Oh, it goes way back. Look at that. God's Gift strain 95. Boy, that's back when you were signing petitions over in Cali. And then and it got popular in 2005. BC Blue Bud Depot and Scorpion Crew are the breeders who are commonly associated with God's Gift. 10% sativa. Oh, we had actually, if the genetics, but I got the genetics from a lady whose farm in Humboldt is really reputable. So I'm assuming that it was Granddaddy Purple. I love the terp profile on a Granddaddy Purple. It just got such a wonderful smell and taste, in my opinion. And then OG Kush, so GDP and OG Kush, 2 highly potent and popular strains, relaxing and sedative.
Yeah, if you guessed it, good on you.
You guessed it. Freaking awesome, guys!
Shit.
The next is for the dude who totally guessed it. Oh, and if you throw us a super or chat us right now and just give us some money and we can't talk to you, at least today. Tune in next week. We'll be able to talk to you again.
I'll probably watch this later just to see who was talking.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a rollicking time.
I got a little shit I wasn't expecting.
Well, you see, we have to redo this, and so the name it needs to be bumper newses, and main newses, and then sub newses behind it. So it's a I am not doing a good job of explaining it or just writing it myself.
You're good. It's good.
That's shit that I wasn't expecting. Let's do this one right now.
That's a good one.
Oh, good.
What bumper you want?
No bumper. We just did a bumper from Name That Strain. You try to do a bumper every 10 minutes.
Okay.
That'd be a goal. Yeah.
Rescheduling could foster marijuana acceptance from healthcare industry? What?
Yes, it can. Yeah, you have a Schedule 3 drug, so that means it's actually legal in all 50 states and recognized as medicine. Maybe they'll teach it in doctor school. I'm sorry, sometimes called med school.
And again, I think the only reason why it's not already is because of the stigma, the taboo, the fear. How can it be when it's been illegal for all this time? How can it be somewhat beneficial? It's a huge thing. I just saw a thing. There's a reporter in England, Peter Hitchens,
Yeah.
Still spewing reefer madness about how it's caused all of society's ills.
Yeah, well, they're fucking dumb, and that's that. Oh, unfortunately, I lost a little
I was
dumb.
watching.
I will have the stuff up, and so 20, 30,000 people will watch our podcast. We may want to be a little bit more professional about it.
I mean, we're getting there, dude. I wouldn't, and then once the store opens, then we can, reevaluate and reassess.
You remember do you know who Admiral Stockdale is? Was He's been dead now.
Nope.
He was a war hero, and he was an MIA, not an MIA, a POW for many months, and he was like Admiral Stockdale, POW, and maybe it wasn't him. Vice Admiral, Medal of Honor, some other guy, and so he was one of the people that was like in Vietnam, POW camp for like the longest, and he said, you know who didn't make it? It was always the optimists. The people are like, once this happens, we'll be all right. It's like, nah, shit sucks, and you have to just deal with it.
That's every day, dog. It's welcome to adulthood. I mean, I hate to.
Yeah, I think it was James Stockdale, and so like his little. So don't think about it as like once the store is open. That's that. Thinking about like the optimism of it all. It's gonna make sense in the future. Fuck it. You got to make the future right now. You're in a place. It sucks. You have to deal with it. You have to get through it, and you have to know that you're gonna get through it. And so, like, I know we're gonna go to opening day, but I am not putting shit off until opening day. I'm gonna have bills next month. I'm gonna have real shit that I have to do.
No, things get better. I mean, it's not like I'm quitting my day job fucking anytime soon.
There is no day job. It's just survival. Like that's the mentality of like an entrepreneur. You don't have a day job. You have bills. Like you just do what you're going to do so that you can make everything. I mean, you're supposed to do what you love. And then if you could do that and then you make money on it, and then you're not really ever working, but you never want to stop not working.
No. I totally get that. I mean, I'm like, and actually I like what I do now. And then that's something I hope to branch off into the cannabis space and explain more to other people. But, fucking can't talk about it when you really have a day job, right? Like, that's like, if we were like fucking cancer advocates, I could fucking wear pink ribbons to work and put shit all over my cubicle and no one would question it. But if I
think I got in more trouble for being a vegan than I did for being a pothead at my last, like when I like wasn't owning the company that I work for. And so like, seriously, like, cause like people love eating animals. And then when you're like, not really into it, they're like, what the hell's wrong with you? But then if you like to smoke weed, they're like, me too.
Yeah. It's definitely. It's about where you're. Hey, did the thing just sync up now? I think it just.
Oh yeah, up. Yeah. Everything's back. Everything's back, everybody, and that's when we can go back because it's been now about 10 minutes, and so that's when you can do your next bumper. There was some shit that happened this week that we just did not even know about. Get it? Of Respect My Region. These guys are doing like, we have a website. It's not good. And then they have a Respect My Region site. And I think we have like 3 websites, and like our website about the podcast needs real work. So like, if you want to help, cannabislegalizationnews.com, let us know, because then you can like write for us and get traffic to the site. But most of the traffic comes through one site, cannabisindustrylawyer.com. Snoop Dogg announces on Instagram that he's no longer smoking weed, and then demanded privacy, which was hilarious, as he like continued to make social media posts after he asked for privacy. Like, I'm going to go post to Instagram that I want privacy. Please respect it.
Ignore me. I'm not. What is it, the Canadian one with the Prince Charles or the?
We demand privacy. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's because right. Well, and they're protesting that they don't have our privacy. Yeah.
The comments, dude. Like first off, Could be just a brilliant marketing thing, right? Like he said, he's no longer going to smoke. It has so far, I think, over almost 5 million likes. So just from his little comment, right? But then the people in the free THC group and everything, the different comments in our ecosystem, I guess. A lot of the people are like, what do I care, right? Or some people are like, even like, oh, we lost an advocate, but like, really, was he really like, there's some things you sensibly said, but I never seen the man proactive of being like, far as like policy or any sort of like prisoner reform or anything. So it's like, Snoop's going through a thing, or it's just a brilliant marketing fucking thing.
Cole's saying that Snoop is actually going to give up smoke, and this is all some bullshit for him to now get into the THCA space because he's got a year to rip up them Snoop Dogs, like Snoop dollar bills. And he can sell his THCA brand. That's one of the hardest things, like with selling like a professional brand. And you get like a label in a particular state and you have an agreement for distribution there. What if you could just bypass that whole shit and go direct to the consumer online without carding, without regulations, without taxes, and just call it hemp? And maybe that's what he's going to do. Cole says that Snoop Dogg will be launching a THCA line shortly.
Well, he signed a contract with some Hemp Con or some hemp. There's a hemp brand that he signed with last week. So the deal's already done. This is probably just creative marketing, man. Right? Like he just said the word smoke. It's not like I give up cannabis. I give up, And I saw some haters in his comments too about like I wouldn't turn my back on the flower for some dollars, but he's just saying
we need to start selling THCA directly through the website or like on the show. Just like, hey, please buy this because you can, and it's legal and it's basically weed. But what if they say, okay, you guys can't have your state license no more, and because like suddenly these Illinois people sound like they're from out east.
But the whole shilling thing, though, man, like it's like it's why I'm excited to have a store, right? Because I'm gonna shill for the store all fucking day. Not only does it benefit me, but it's also something I believe in, right? The I'm selling pounds at this point. I'm selling, but per ace.
Hopefully, we move 1,000 a year. Yeah,
so that's gonna be the exciting part. But it's also something that I do. It's like, say, if I were a vegan, I would open a vegan store and just promote it.
No, if you were a vegan, you'd stop being vegan because people will keep asking if you have cancer because you're so thin. No. So that's what I did. I stopped being a vegan and I just eat pizza now and avoid meat.
No, you're good. You have a good diet, but I do like meat, so I can't.
Not the best.
I can be healthier, that's for sure. So we got some international stories.
Oh no, we're gonna go to more stories, and then we'll hit the international bumper in about
got you.
6 minutes. But for right now, we're gonna go to this story. So we have some closure on a story that broke about, hey, did weed cause a death? No, it did not. This happened. When did this story break, Miggy? About a year ago?
Yeah, about a year ago. And I know the Young Jerks were very on it over there in the Boston area.
The Young Jerks were on it, and this is a Holyoke, which sounds like it's from Wisconsin. So Holyoke. I could be mispronouncing that because I've never heard it said.
Yeah, I was doing for Holyoke.
Out of Massachusetts. Holyoke?
I was going for Holly.
Holyoke.
I don't need to do a whole day on this, but yes. So the feds finally confirmed that the Massachusetts cannabis worker died on a job from asthma attack. We knew this already, though. It was, and I don't think it was so much attack.
Do we know about the asthma, or we knew it had something related to her?
Exasperated it, yeah.
But then, we didn't know if it was actually an asthma attack that killed poor 27-year-old Lorena McMurray of West Springfield. And then this was over a year ago. This was almost 2 years ago now, January 7th, 22. But then we didn't find out about it, I think, until last summer. They kind of kept it hush-hush.
Well, of course. I think it was who's a Cureleaf that's the one that owns this
Let
company.
me see. I actually thought it was GTI, but maybe it was Curleaf. And it was, according to this, we do not see it. Still don't see it.
I mean, it's
I almost
public.
want to
It's
do a
out there.
Control F on this. And kind of, well, maybe they scrubbed it.
Nah, it's easy enough. Matter of fact, hey Cole, who fucking owns
Well,
this?
if he remembers it, yeah. But then it's one of those things where it doesn't. It just
Trueleaf.
says,
Cole says
yeah,
Trueleaf.
True Leaf. And so, but if I look for True Leaf, I don't think it's on this article. TRU.
Well, I imagine
Oh,
if you
there it
find
is.
the
But then it just says the OSHA fine was related to True Leaf's employee death. So True Leaf, like if you don't know, you know now. True Leaf has like a huge bitch or like a fleet of them for their PR group, and so they probably spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in PR a year. And as you can see, like the only appearance of True Leaf is a link to a completely different news article from like October 5th of last year, where it ties where they died, and they just completely scrubbed it from the text of the article, which is that's a
this,
PR.
but
Really
it's like
nice.
the Barbara Streisand effect, though. It's like now you are just an evil corporation. You couldn't come out with a. I mean, I get the working conditions. No one really. This is a new field that you guys are trying to create, and it could have just been like, hey, our condolences. We're trying to improve the work environment, because that's what happened. It was like the dust from the keef. It was that helped exacerbate the asthma, like a suffering or a
And she
suffocation
actually
type
had like,
scenario.
um,
Looks
help
like you're
with
on
that,
pause
as
there.
opposed
Am I on pause? Tom,
you
I think you
might be.
froze, or am I frozen?
I don't know. I have like fiber internet here, so it may be you. It may not be any of us, to be honest. Like I haven't noticed any latency or nothing.
Okay, cool.
You know what we should
But
do
yeah,
then?
good. Hmm.
Well, we should do another bumper. Maybe that'll help reset it. What do they call
There
that?
you go.
Power cycling?
Yeah, you turn it on and off.
Turn it on and off. Hey, we have some international news. And this
Yes,
is
sir.
from JD Supra. Vincente is advertising on JD Supra. Vincente, formerly Vincente Supra. Another, well, a very large law firm. So,
So
where is it going to be popping off in 2024 outside of the United States? Where can you travel and feel safe?
that's the question.
Number one,
For
Germany.
sure.
Germany. They have phase one discriminalization, the establishment of social clubs. Germany's going Spanish.
Mm. But are
And then
there a lot of lawsuits still contingent with Germany within the EU?
I don't know. That's something I would ask Leo, our German cannabis lawyer.
That's the one guy. Thailand, though, the next one is I would love to smoke in Thailand. I mean, I was there once.
Thailand in June of 2022. Thailand surprised the world when it removed the marijuana plant from the country's list of controlled substances and decriminalized cannabis consumption of products. Does not include flower containing no more than 0.2% THC. That's odd. I wonder if there's a Delta 9 loophole there. So there you go. You can smoke non-weed in Thailand.
Okay.
But not flower.
I thought they had a more progressive infrastructure, but I guess not.
Well, let's see. Let's see what they say.
Well, if they got 0.02 limit, that's weird. Or
Unfortunately, it seems like it may not. It may not. And then let's go to where the action really has always been when they say there's legalization going on outside of the United States. Colombia, not just for coffee or cocaine anymore. Colombia in 2023 saw a defeat of a 2-year process to legalize marijuana in Colombia. During the eighth and final reading of the legalization bill, 8 times. They had to read a legalization bill 8 times in Colombia. It fell short of the 54 vote threshold needed to pass the Senate. Rats.
Well, disappointing news. Many optimistic observers felt that this was inevitable since the current presidential administration did not introduce legislation. So, still, I mean, I imagine they have culture, though, right? Because Columbia Red's been a thing forever.
Columbia Gold.
Gold. There you
And then they think that a lot of those what is it, mango, and then there's some other ones that I don't speak enough Spanish or I'm not familiar enough with them to be able to remember off the top of my head.
go. Hmm.
Same with the stuff out of Czechoslovakia, which is now called and has been called for the past 30 years the Czech Republic.
I would love to go over there. That'd be a part of Europe I'd love to visit.
Yes, I know they have a lot of hemp, and a lot of hemp machinery actually comes out of the Czech Republic.
Hmm.
They are kind of about where Germany is, it says.
A lot of farm country, right? I mean, that's kind of
Yep.
what we're looking at. Yeah.
And finally, Switzerland. Pilot
Ooh.
programs for legalization happening. And then again, like Switzerland has the name of a city called Bern. Bern, Switzerland. Come on.
Nice.
And Zurich, which sounds like something you might say after you've been burning in Switzerland. The Swiss
Nice
people
though.
were cool when I used to hang out there.
So you were backpacking?
Oh no, I was in Spain, and so the Swiss people that I met in Spain were pretty.
Oh,
They would always talk about, oh no, cannabis is great for sleep. I'm like, yeah, cool.
right on. Dude.
Yeah,
Hey, I got from along with that story of the young lady that passed because of the conditions.
mhm.
Mike Boston from the Young Jerks, he posted this on Instagram where Boston Bud Factory is going to be voluntary for the NIOSH study. So like that's so like this is like regulation happens, right? You got people who come out and do a study for a place. You know, like when we talk about regulations, you know, it's not again the industry. We thought about when I talk about how I used to sell quarter pounds, and, you know, break it up and I'd make enough for rent or whatever. But like for an actual like functioning part of society, you know, all this bullshit infrastructure, shit like this needs to get done, and then it will help prevent stuff like the stuff that happened in North Carolina. I think it was North Carolina. I got this story about this couple that were smoking weed at a bus stop, and they were harassed by the law enforcement, and their video went viral as far as like the interaction with the law enforcement. Like, but you know, regulation would help prevent people like this getting harassed at a bus stop smoking a joint. I mean, this is a Tuesday for me in
Oh,
Seattle.
like, but then if she was shooting vodka, she could have
Oh
also.
yeah,
And so, like, because then it's public consumption, and so like, even when and it's not even close to being legal in North Carolina, and of course, the big hemp loophole would be like, but I'm just smoking hemp, man, and then you would say, well, it's not public consumption, as the THCa is decarboxylating in your lungs to delta 9. But you know, what did you think was going to happen? And so like it's one of those things where they aren't supposed to hassle you, but if she was drinking a beer, if she
right.
was and it's a bus stop or a bus, is it a bus stop or a bus station? Because like now there are the smoke free Illinois, smoke free America acts, those types of things where you're not even allowed to smoke cigarettes inside. And so if she's inside a bus station smoking a cigarette, wouldn't
Yeah,
she also get harassed? You know, it's one of those things though that um,
but it was a bus stop.
North
So
Carolina is,
you know, it happened.
yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's all
after a
illegal
shift
except for hemp.
as a worker. I mean, like, mm. And then of course that wouldn't be a fun argument to have with a law enforcement when they come at you. I mean, that's hey, this is hemp. You know,
Hey,
where
this
does
is
the
my buddy. He's my lawyer. Yeah, I wanted to like have this hemp cigarette with him.
I mean, you're still doing the pot lawyer thing of just saying shut the fuck up. You
Well,
need to.
there's shut the fuck up, you know. But then also, you know, did you just show him the COA? See, no Delta
But
9, but you've lit it on fire. Yeah.
that becomes a law enforcement discretion at that point, wouldn't it? Still,
But then it's like if all the hemp farmers played by the same state rules, pros of that. Hemp farmers are willing to grow regulated cannabis. Cannabis growers don't want to let them. Again, and so if you go to a dispensary, you can buy hemp in the sense that it technically qualifies, but it was grown pursuant to a cannabis license. So the hemp farmers aren't supposed to be growing weed; they're supposed to be growing hemp. If they're going to grow weed, then they should get a craft grower license. what is the intended use of their crop?
Well, and I want to
Is it
say,
to make hempcrete? Is it to make rope, fuel? Is it to make clothes? Or is it to, grind it up in your pop and smoke it like it's a
yeah,
horticultural THC product?
but it's not. I don't think the cannabis farmer is against the hemp grower. It's just what the markets allow right now. I'm like here in Wash State, they had to create a whole freaking new rule before because the hemp Delta 9 was being infused into the recreational market, which that's not fair. Because that hemp farmer can grow 100 hectares, with no license wherever they want, and then the cannabis farmer has to grow their limited space per their size, whatever quantity they're allowed, and hope as an agriculture product, it all survives and they can, reap the rewards with that harvest, whatever. But
Yeah, but that's not what the point of the hemp law was. The point of the hemp law was to make clothes and building materials,
well,
not weed.
and again, it's all about the investors, right? The people who with the money right now, they're not, like you said, they're not investing in the hempcrete, not investing in the hemp cotton, the hemp oil. They want the quick turnaround time, knowing that people are recreational and use it. Opposed to like maybe I can sell this T-shirt.
Oh yeah, and if you want some T-shirts, by the way,
There you go.
we need to start giving these away. And there's a way I think that we could sell these, like literally through the YouTube channel. And I don't know what that is. I'm going to start trying to calendar YouTube more. Besides those guys that just tell me to like script stuff and then get them to them so that they can make the little
I'm sure we can
edits.
do it because we'd have to see. Well, one, do you want to use the same shirt manufacturer, or do you want to? Because other now there's
Let's just
different.
sell the crop that we have. It's just like hemp. We sell what we have, and then we like. The other thing is, as an entrepreneur, you have to get used to selling things you've never done or even made, just to see if they'll sell. You
That's
put
just
together offers to see, like, well, I sold one. Better get on that then. Yeah,
no, I get it. Hey, Ron will take a shirt.
good.
What's your email?
So let's see if we can put that on. I don't email Miggy. Well, actually,
I can forward
leave
to
it
you.
in the comments. Leave it in the comments, Ron, and then we'll get back in touch with you so that you can get one.
Right on.
Send them
Yeah,
mugs. Tell you mugs, collateral-based mugs. You can only drink so much coffee before I like shatter these.
Nice. I still got mine.
It's a good one. Okay,
Yeah.
that's our show for the day.
Yes,
I hope
sir.
that you've enjoyed it, and if you haven't, well, you clearly don't have good taste. But there's like 370 people hanging out, so you probably do. And then if you are one of those and you want to see us over at MJ BizCon, don't forget to go to tent booth number 6645. Nope, totally botched that. 6445. So unfortunately, what will happen is everybody will go to 6645. I'm like, I don't know where these guys are. They're supposed to be here.
I plan on doing a lot of walking around there too. So just look for us on the floor too.
No, that's all right. They usually just have me going back to back and like interviewing a lot of people. And so I'll be interviewing a lot of people and being professionally charming, as I have been for many years.
So you're recording a bunch of interviews there, huh?
Correct. And so if you want to go to MJ BizCon, don't forget to go to MJ BizCon. And then we do have, and so when you try to buy tickets, let's say you're going to buy tickets, we have a nice little, it's somewhere, there it is. The coupon code is MEETA10. You can copy it and go over there and say, I'm going to be an attendee. Try to get a press pass. Oh, you have to sign up first. But yeah, that's our coupon code, MEETA10.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to meeting new people and understanding.
When do you
more
get in on Monday?
Afternoon. So I fly out of here about, I think, 10 o'clock in the morning. So I get there about 12-ish.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah, it's going to be later than that. I might get in around like 10. And so I'll pack up and then I'm out of there on Friday. I hear that we're supposed to like just hustle and network, but what we should do is really try to sell THCA. That's it. Move hemp. Yeah.
I'm going to check out that Sesh Lounge. There's a couple things I want to see as far as how, Steve Elliott put it best when I hanged out with him one time was like, I've been writing about this damn plant and the law and everything for quite a long time. And it's more like we're documenting history. Like
Correct.
going to this MJ BizCon is like the antithesis to what people think legalization is going to be, right? Legalization is supposed to be like it's not a hippie drum circle. It's more of a lot of trading
Hippie
and dealing.
drum circle.
That's just the fun part of your experience, but it's not the actual how like money exchange hands. Unfortunately, it's what makes the world go round. And what is going to make this plant like essentially what is going to be legal where people don't go to jail for possession or smell.
Oh yeah, but they got possession limits in your state. They got possession limits in my state, unless you got all the THCa hemp flower you want. But don't forget, our main story of the week is it is still like the Farm Bill of 2018 gets another year, which means that go stock up on seeds, go stock up on edibles, including. Oh my gosh, I wish I had that tab open. Unfortunately, I do not. Do I have that? Nope.
Well, we got
I
some of
have
those chewies. So the
got
chewies
some of those
though.
cruise chews. I'm going to go stop this broadcast, publish it out into the podcast verse, wherever you get your podcast. Most of people, they do tune in to YouTube. There will be some cool new YouTubes coming. And then Miggy and I will be here next week. The week after that, I think maybe we'll be off because we'll do some shows from MJ Biz.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Looking forward to
It
it.
will be.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat too much. You're American.
Yeah.